Shane, this is Chip, and Jeff is off on business tonight. So tonight we got an amazing special guest. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Now, if you don't know who Minus Wells are, you're about to find out a lot more about him. He's a YouTuber, puts out amazing videos, talks a lot about what's going on in the space, and has enlightened not only myself, but Jeff also to some cool projects out there. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to get a little bit into the metaverse, maybe some altcoins, maybe hit some DeFi, and it's all coming up right here on the chain. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
And without further ado, let me bring in tonight's guest. This is Minus Wells. And Minus, what's up? Great for you to join tonight.
Well, it's great to be here, Chip. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, man, great to have you. And it's amazing. You've had a nice entree into the YouTube space. You put out some really solid videos. And if you guys are not following his YouTube channel, please go down in the comments right now, click on it, and it says subscribe to Minus Wells. Click on that, subscribe to it. You will not be sorry. There's a lot of great stuff, especially stuff with stuff going on in the metaverse. Even the way you present your channel is cool as hell. So a little bit behind the tech of what you're using on your people have watched your videos.
The tech, well, I'm on the NeosVR platform, which is a metaverse, I guess, virtual reality. To get in there, you put the the goggles on, and you have joysticks and hand controllers, and it's a virtual world, and you can pretty much do anything. So that allowed me to build in a recording studio. You can import pictures. You just cut and paste under your screen, and they plop in there videos. Any 3D object you can import. You can import files and shoot them across the room to your buddy who's in there, and they can download them in virtual reality. So it enables to be able to do videos or whatever you want.
So right now, I'm taking a look at it right now. This is your last video, but as you're moving your arms around, you're presenting, and you have a couple different characters. You also have it's interesting when you use that pointer, so that screen behind you will become a screen share at some point. And when you're talking, there's a lot going on, but it's cool. It's cool as hell. So now you're just presenting. Oh, this was the one for the Vagabond where you created the NFT, right?
Right.
Yeah, and this is a very cool project too. And I think everybody knows about this one because the VGB drop is tomorrow. I know the Snapshot ended a couple of days ago. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I lose track of time. I don't know, Minus. You remember when that was that you had a?
I don't really pay attention to airdrop details. I got my requirements filled, and I got ready a long time ago. Then I forget about it. So.
Right, you fill it out and you forget about it. But this one's really cool. It's got a really cool, interesting sort of back end. And I think, tomorrow is that official snapshot on December 1st. And then I believe, I don't know when the actual airdrop's happening, but I know that's one of the more pressing, popular ones. Also, too, what about, are you ready to go with the solo one as well? Solo and XRP?
Well, I believe with Solo, we just keep it in our wallet, and if you have Solo or XRP on Bitree, you get Solo. I don't really want to talk about my opinion of the project personally, and this airdrop is so massive. The sell pressure after the airdrop is, I think, is just going to destroy the value of the coin. Personally, I think the sell pressure is going to drop that price significantly, and probably right before too. Well, but yeah, I'm participating because I'm holding XRP in the right wallets. So
got it. Yeah, but I think one of the things Bob Ras came out and he stated, there was a tweet he put out and said that, and he also let it slip a little bit with Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto saying, "Hey, the team's been working on something. I can't talk about it. My team will be mad at me if I talk about it." But then he put a tweet out a day or so ago that basically talked about, I believe he said something coming up around December 20th, something that's going to benefit solo token holders. So I'm wondering if, and they said they've been working on it for some time. So I'm just a lot of speculation about what it might be. But to your point, Minus, maybe they're rolling something out because they recognize, like you said, the sell pressure of what could potentially happen.
Yeah. I mean, I see airdrops as, projects want to get attention, and they do that by passing out free coins, and it's a ton of free coins and a ton of hype, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, I've been following them kind of for years. I mean, what has it been, 3 years since they started?
Yeah, about 3 years. Yeah,
it's a decentralized exchange supposedly, and going to be, their goals are to get into derivatives and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. So I did find the tweet while we were chatting here, but look at this. It says right here. So he put this tweet out. He says, as you might know, the Solo Core team has been working on new technology for quite some time. Glad to inform you that we'll finally reveal more details in this new ecosystem on December 20th. This will directly incentivize all Solo holders. So I wonder if they've got something up their sleeve, because they can kind of like read the tea leaves of what you're potentially saying. Because I'll tell you this, they must know something. They must be doing something right, because as soon as they announced the Solo airdrop, all of a sudden the price started rising
way up. Yeah, and it had performed over the last year. I think it was extremely poorly too, and there's rumors floating around of why. And like I said, I don't really want to talk about it, but then this airdrop comes up, so
you want to talk about it. The project is in grave danger. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say anything about that. I mean, and by the way, I overheard somebody the other day. Never mind. I mean, it's like,
never mind.
But you're right though. I mean, when they are just internet rumors, it was funny because there was another project where all of a sudden I was hearing people were DMing me and hitting me up with all this stuff, and I was kind of like, it's just conjecture at this point. There's no, if you can't tie it back to anything. Sometimes people send documents or something to me, or Jeff, and we look at them and it looks interesting, but can we prove the validity of it, right?
Right. And when people go on to like the look at the ledger and wallets and transactions, and it's all traceable, and when they bring forth all this information, you kind of have to scratch your head, and you're like, is it true? Is it not true? Do they fabricate it? What does it mean? And some projects, a lot of projects need funding. So I mean, that's part of the whole game, is to build your project and extract money to do so out of your coin and your project. So I mean, Solo is probably going to turn out to be a great project, a decentralized DEX on the XRP ledger. So it could be exciting. I'm not really investing in them per se, but I'm sure they're going to do all right.
Yeah, Jim D, I see you're throwing a tweet in the chat. Can you DM that to me? Because unfortunately, with the way this software works, I can't get that. But just send me a DM to my Twitter, and I'll go ahead and pull that off. Also, too, I wanted to. So what I heard all these rumors around one project. One of them was CasinoCoin, and Jack had left the project, and another, somebody else said, they're not going to write blogs anymore. And then people were like saying, "Oh my gosh, the project's in trouble." And then today some big news hit. Right here, Eminence Holdings, which is the crypto coin, that's the parent company. They just got heavyweight Mark Robson as their CEO. This guy has an incredible amount of experience behind him. I mean, he's as far as gaming, he was the head of e-gaming for Isle of Man government. That's where this project's based, Isle of Man in the UK over there. So he came on board. So it's just these. You got to be careful with this stuff. And it's one of the things with Jeff and I, I'm like, I'd love to talk about this. I'd love to, dive into it. But the problem is that you just don't know. And it's like, I don't want to be that person, because I know a lot of people find secret documents. I found a secret document, and the document says this. And I'm like, well, that's great. And it's cool if you're going like, look, this is pure speculation, but I don't want to talk about stuff sometimes. And every once in a while, it'll prove to be true, or something comes out, or, like, for example, with Ripple, it's a partnership. We kind of like, there's got to be something going on there, but we don't know for sure, right? It hasn't been officially announced.
We don't know.
What are your thoughts on the ecosystem with what's going on with Ripple, this case? Are you still bullish? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think, XRP is a powerhouse. I think they're the biggest blockchain company in existence right now. You could debate and say some exchanges that have utility coins associated with them, like Binance, might be a bigger project. But in terms of like utility, let's just exclude exchanges. So besides them, I think they're the biggest player in the game, and the solution that they're tackling is huge, remittance. So, and they're obviously leading the way. There's a reason why the SEC targeted them. For example, if they were not the biggest in the business, then the SEC would probably go after somebody else that was. So, I mean, the lawsuit, I think, is just going to drag on, and you hear all sorts of rumors and opinions of yada yada yada. But I mean, the fact comes down to it, Ripple wants to get answers and clarity, and the SEC, who knows what their intentions are? They're just trying to quote unquote protect investors, right? But they're just trying to drag. I mean, I think they're just trying to drag Ripple's name through the mud, and all the theories behind why, and mixed in with Ethereum, they're really interesting, and they're probably partially true. There's probably a lot of theories that are partially true, but I think the net result of all this is that we're going to keep on going through the suit. It's going to drag on through Q1, and maybe even into Q3. That's kind of what I see happening. I think that's likely.
Now that's interesting because we've heard all kinds of different scenarios. I know of for example, Bearable Bull caught one of his videos. He when he came on here too, he said that he believed that there was going to be a settlement coming as soon as December. Then we heard Garlinghouse say, well, yeah, we'd love to settle, but along with the settlement, we have to hear the words that today's XRP, not a security, right? So those two things happening in the same time seem to be, Jeff and I usually aren't fans of that. I mean, I'd love to see it happen. I think everybody would be like for them to do some kind of settlement, pay a fine. But they could have come out and said that from the beginning, saying, well, look, we're just going after, saying what happened in 2013 and 2015. We're not talking about today's, because they certainly did that, gave that sort of pass, or at least the look of the fact that they were sort of behind the Ethereum, saying, yeah, okay, it looked like an ICO back in 2014.
I mean, 15. We have Vitalik on camera along with other major people in the Ethereum organization talking about illegal security offerings, right?
Right. You can't hide it, right? It's out there forever.
And they're going after Ripple, who's trying to change the way money flows around the world, and money and power and politics is what this is kind of about. I mean, if Ethereum was 2.0 a few years ago, maybe things would be different, and they'd be going after Ethereum. I mean, who knows? But the people that work in the back end, the elites, the people that pull all the strings, who knows what the motives are? But we're gonna hopefully get through this. I mean, this is a huge case, and everyone, it's the XRP community that's really, helped out the case and do some research and digging. They've helped out a lot, but everyone should be really kind of battling the SEC, because if the SEC wins and, declares Ripple, or, creates clarity that doesn't favor projects, then it's going to hurt the whole industry. So we can't, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And, John Deaton, a bunch of different people in the space, DAI, a lot of people have exposed, it's so funny. It's like, look, you said what you said, you're on video, you have Gensler on video talking about Ethereum, just like there's so much stuff that's come to light where it seems so disingenuous for them to have gone after it. Last night, we played some clips out of, a former SEC chair just saying that this is juvenile. This is horrible. What are they doing? I mean, this is not a good look. It's not good. This whole there's so many critics out there. That's Grunfest, who was a pretty accomplished, and he also in fair notice said, hey, just full disclaimer, I am a consultant on the XRP Ripple case. But again, I'm amazed at the backing with some of the things that are going on. But I wanted to pull this up. I want to get your thoughts on this right here. This was a tweet. This is what people were talking about in the chat here. This came up a little bit earlier today, and I saw it. So this is what Zum support, the Zum wallet, public XRP ledger nodes by Ripple, XDev, S1, S2, full history are out of sync with the XRP ledger for over 5 hours. This results in apps using these services like the Zum wallet, the X apps. If the XRPcluster.com is too busy, it's not functioning well. And then WietseWind put this out. He said, sorry, people, we're already working around the clock. The XRPL can't handle the current load well. What about that? Why can't it handle? What do you think? Think it can't handle the load?
Well, what we saw with Ethereum was Vitalik back in the day making fun of Bitcoin for costing 50 cents per transaction, or 5 cents it was, or something like that. And now we see,
oh my gosh,
we see over 10,000 projects built on Ethereum. I did a tweet, and I talked about it in my video the other day about trust lines being created compared to just 3 months ago. There's about 18,000, in the teens of thousands of trust lines being created. And now every day there's over 500,000 trust lines being created. So we're adding complexity to everything. And, I'm not a technician. I don't know how it all really works in terms of, what adding a trust line to the XRP ledger means. But, we saw Ethereum get, crazy gas fees. I mean, if I would have told you 3 years ago, oh yeah, in the future, Chip, if you want to send trade some Ethereum, it's going to cost you, $100 to $300, you'd laugh, right? But
it's insane. Well, I mean, so Jeff was telling me he was trying to do a transaction for, I don't know, $30. There was a $100 gas fee. It's
right.
And then I saw, it's just it's so absurd. I would have laughed in your face. I would have been like, you're absolutely crazy. Why in the world would anybody think that would even be possible? Right. There's no rhyme or reason. It makes zero sense. But I wanted to highlight this tweet. This is actually something I wanted to talk about tonight, right there. So what's interesting is you got this. So bullish on August 22nd, there are only 16,000 XRP trust lines. And then on November 20th, there were 762,000 trust lines. But now this is something I hadn't really considered or thought about, but each trust line locks up 2 XRP. Do you notice the trend? That's pretty cool, because I read this tweet and I thought, wow, that's something that I hadn't considered before.
Yeah.
So where does it stop? I mean, now,
I don't know where it stops. I mean, obviously trust lines and now creating coins. I mean, you saw the Vagabond demo, right? You know how easy it is to create a coin on the XRP ledger. I mean, there's other sites you can go to create coin. I think Algorand can do, or don't quote me. There's places you can go to create your own coins on the XRP ledger, kind of like what you saw on that. But so anyone can just go create a coin, and now people all around the world are probably going to want to create their own coins to sell their own NFTs. I mean, why not? And trust lines are not going to go down; they're only going to go up. In terms of numbers per day. I mean, obviously we're going to see trends and waves, but just looking back a few months, there was hardly any, and now there's 500,000 every day at least. A week ago there was, I think, a record of 700 and some odd 100,000. But
I remember years ago. I remember Jungle Inc. created a coin. He read it, and he was going and describing how he set up a trust line. Nixer set up that to make it super easy now to link to a trust line, click on it, opens up your Zum wallet, super easy. But I remember when Jungle created his coins, the Jungle coin back, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was way back there. But I remember he had to jump through a bunch of hoops. It just wasn't easy. So like you said, as it becomes easier for people to do stuff, why wouldn't you want to manage it? This is the whole concept of Web 3.0. The Web 1.0, it was there was a bunch of open source stuff. Then Web 2.0, where the conglomerates, the Googles, the Facebook, the Apple, all these people, basically corporations, a lot of them even taking open source software and turning it into profitable software, right? Now we're Web 3.0, where it's coming down to us. We're the ones that are making being able to earn either through DeFi or, we own the rights to something. And you're right, the whole NFT space, what we think it is today is going to probably, where do you see the vision of the NFT space going in the next couple of years?
I mean, it's going to get out of control, obviously, especially if anyone can create it. And like I said in the video, I did put a lot of brainstorming into if anyone can create NFTs, what would they create? And I was just thinking, previously I told you about movie tickets, or not movie tickets. Well, movie tickets, I talked about concert tickets.
Concert tickets.
And cool concert tickets and memorabilia, and having it forever and using it for admission, because it is a unique type of deal, and the issuer could guarantee that your ticket isn't duplicated, copied, because it's got its own number associated to it. So I mean, people are going to use NFTs creatively in a lot of ways for functional reasons. And now that NFTs are kind of in the spotlight, and they're cool, like I said in my video, like even birthday parties, to make things fun, people could pay very little bit amount of money and create birthday NFT, invitations that are sent out via blockchain, NFTs, just for fun. So people are going to use them just for fun. They're going to use them for utility reasons, and I mean, there's just going to be a lot more use moving forward, and we're going to see a lot of NFTs.
Yes, space is really growing. So I just put up this on the screen here. Connie has a jungle
what's up,
coin.
Connie?
Connie got a jungle coin. I remember that. I never got a jungle coin, but yeah. But just the whole idea, the fact that he went through the process to be able to create one was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we did that on Algorand, and then he figured out how to do it on the XRP ledger a little bit ago. That was cool.
Yeah, and so jumping back into this, I'm going to go back in this tweet over here, the WietseWind one. Then he says the XRPL public nodes clusters are being scaled up, but that isn't ready yet. The other thing that I had some concerns around is, this notion that at some point, the volume is going to really catch up, right? I mean, right now, okay, granted, but all these rails are being put in. There's this major litigation going on right now with the SEC, with Ripple. But the transactions per second, you look at some of these other payment systems, and they're like in the 70 to 80,000, 100,000 per second, where you have the XRPL lagging way behind. So I'm wondering if they're going to plan on doing some work on it, because like they said, it's being scaled up, but it's not ready yet. And then somebody had DM'd me today and said, well, if this is happening, is it centralized? Is there some centralization going on here that it's not ready? And so I'm thinking it's just a matter of hardware, being scaled up. Because I mean, WietseWind said a number of times saying, hey, we gotta add more nodes. We have to add more hardware. Is it just the thing of hardware? I mean, or what do you think is going to happen with the XRPL? Because I mean, obviously they got to scale it, right?
I mean, I'm not an engineer. I did install a validator at one point. In about 30 minutes. It's not hard. It validates the blockchain.
What were you running it on? Were you running it?
Just my home computer.
Okay.
My server computer. Just for fun. There wasn't rewards associated with it, so I was like, okay, next.
That's the problem, right? That's the whole thing. It's like, just because out of the goodness of your heart, Minus sets it up, and it's like, okay, did that. I've been there, and it's my home computer. And if you go ahead and rent space in the cloud, if you put on AWS or something, it's like, okay, now you're paying for a validator just out of the goodness of your heart. Like that never made much sense to me. Not like when you're running other nodes, and the validator is going to be a key thing. And I don't know, seems a little bit.
Well, yeah, and you have to do updates unless there's like Watchdog that does auto updates, and it takes managing. And I mean, if you're into that, it's really cool. It's bragging rights. I'm not opposed to doing that one day, but I have enough validators and nodes that I'm running right now. And the validators, they validate the blockchain, and they can handle a lot of transactions per second with XRP. But maybe the trust lines, and like I said, I'm not an engineer. Maybe I should just not talk here. But
maybe you're an engineer, really, or just you don't know you're an engineer. Maybe
the trust lines, maybe those are not in sync, or it's taking too much time to validate the ledger and the trust lines associated with it. And I don't know how the validators are programmed, but maybe it's validating the main ledger, and the trust lines are lagging behind because there's so many of them. So maybe it's just something like that. Maybe it's maybe it's just a matter of hardware. They need more processing power to create a new block, in 3.8 seconds.
That's what I'm wondering too. Alex Yeet was dropping a link in here, and it was interesting. He's saying that Vagabond right now is showing the coin price at $38.
Oh yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah, please talk about that and set that one straight, please.
Yeah, you guys, there's like 17 coins in in circulation right now. I believe some got leaked out by somebody that wasn't supposed to sell any, and so the I think it's only available on the XRP toolkit, the DEX, and people are buying. There's barely any, so people are going to get this airdrop. So don't buy it right now. Do not buy it for $38. When the second the airdrop comes and there's more than 17 coins in existence and the circulating supply, it's gonna drop down and find a price. So, but who knows? Maybe maybe this will set off the base price. Who knows? I've seen crazier stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's also too. Some of those other airdrops that I sign up for, I'm like, if you go into your Zum wallet and you say, you pick the app and says, what's my portfolio worth? And you're like, what? Come on.
When you look in the app, it, a lot of times it can be misleading.
For sure.
Because if you have only 5 coins and the coins are really expensive, then you have a lot of money's worth. But I believe it goes off of, I've noticed, I think it goes off of all the coins price by price. So it's not going to assume all your coins are worth what the latest trade is going for. I think it's going to scale it out through the entire order book. Not 100%, but I think that's what I've noticed. So if the order book's not built up, then it's going to show you maybe with less money than you think you have if you multiply the price per coin by the amount of coins you have in your wallet.
Right. And it's like you look at this, you're like, what kind of coin is this anyway? $75 was the all-time high in just a couple of days. Now it's down to $38, but it's highly inflated. But I know people, you're not going to get an airdrop of 1,000 coins worth $38,000. That's not going to happen. But
I doubt it's going to happen. But like I said,
what about
we
that?
Saw with some of those coins, those NFT coins that came out, with not even real proof that they're really even going to create NFTs, and they're going up to like, I don't want to mention the names, but thousands of dollars per coin, and it's just unreal. So
well,
who knows?
That's true. That's true. But if you study art history and advertising, there's a famous what's his name? Rand. His last name is Rand. They asked him one time like how much. I know Apple paid $500,000 or something like that. Some crazy price. So why would somebody be willing to? Why would you charge that? Because somebody's willing to pay it. It's like there's always, you got to have somebody willing to purchase it. It's like, I've got this NFT. Did you see the one guy that pulled that massive sort of trick where he did a bridge? He did some sort of a crypto loan. He ended up selling and buying his own NFT and then buying it back so that he could say that, oh, it was already sold for a couple $1 million.
Wow.
So, but then people, of course, the internet's a lot smarter. It says, oh, wait a minute, came from this wallet and then this wallet here. But I mean, the truth of it is, say, hey, I sold this NFT for a couple $1 million, and I think it might have been one of those X-Punks or Board Yacht Club, one of those Board API. Yeah. Okay. But the point of it is like you say, like someone isn't going to get that memo and someone's going to be like, man, but I sold last time, for $8 million, but still the guy he did some little trickery. And there's all kinds of people out there that are willing to sort of rig the system or do something like that. I think that was probably done more in fun. But if you get away with it, it's like, hey, somebody bought it for this, and now the price has gone up.
Yeah. I mean, you said, it takes someone to want to buy it to give it value. And, getting back to what I've been talking a lot of times with NFTs right now is, the pixelated art. I'm not a fan of the pixelated art at all. Who's going to want to buy that in the future when you have, 3-dimensional NFTs are the standard or video NFTs are the standard. And then you got some pixelated NFT, people are looking at that and be like, I don't care that someone bought that for 5 Ethereum. There's no way I'm paying even, a part of an Ethereum for it. So that's something people need to understand too, because NFTs are only as valuable, or everything in life is only as valuable as someone's willing to pay for it. So
right. You're right, exactly too. And it's like right now, OpenSea has the most traffic. There's a bunch of other ones too, but the whole idea of this, the gas fees are insane, right? So I kind of see that whole universe is going to open up too, and at some point you'll see OpenSea supporting other networks, NFT networks, just because of the gas fees. And I don't know if you saw. Trying to think of somebody put a proposal out. It might have been. I saw some proposal today to figure out how to lower the gas fees, at least temporarily, because might have been Vitalik that put a tweet out. And you'd read so many tweets during the day, you can't always remember exactly what it was. But I wanted to show you this one here. Let's see. Yeah, so a buddy of mine sold this one here. I thought he was crazy when he bought it. But the thing is, it's the whole idea, the rarity of the whole thing. And this is it right there. He sold it for $500,000 right there. It's
Wow.
it's a Pepe the Frog meme likeness of Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, allegedly, right? And this is the I mean, look at that. Looks like he's wearing lipstick. But anyway, this one was the rare level of the Pepe the Frogs of this particular series was super rare. Like there was only one of them. So it's the rarity of having that. It gets into the whole collector thing anyway, but that was a nice little flip. I think he owned it for 6 or 7 months, flipped it, made a lot of money on it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and also there's another dynamic to all this, and everyone has said for a long time Bitcoin's for laundering money and drug traffic and terrorist activities, right? I mean, but it's all trackable, so that doesn't really make sense a lot of times. But it's possible this was kind of just like a demonstration, a stunt. So, I mean, who else is going to buy that NFT for $500,000?
Well, somebody walked around and strutted because I was sent the video, and it was like kind of like that proud chest out, like walking around, like, yeah, I own it. The funny thing was that was the minimum bid price, so the minimum bid won it. But again, it's like collectibles. I mean, for a while I was into vinyl, the vinyl toys and stuff, and the rarities and the collectibles and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, so you have it. It's just, it becomes one of these weird obsessions. I want to throw this one up here. This is Ramen D. Ramen D's asking, hey, can XRPL have a partnership with Strongblock to create more nodes as a service?
Do we really want to talk about Strongblock, you guys?
Please. Why don't you? That's a nice project to talk about. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, gosh. A lot of people are going to get triggered.
That's okay, man. That's what we're here for.
The node, you create a node, just so everyone figures this out. You create a node, it costs you 10 strong, and most of that strong, maybe all of it now, goes into the reward pool. The reward pool is the pool that pays out node holders. So the pool only fills up if you buy more nodes. So that in itself is a pyramid. Now, a while ago, before I kind of brought it to everyone's attention, they're like, oh, but they're partnered with Phantom and Matic, and they're going to utilize Strong, and Strong is going to get rewarded for using their service or for partnering with them. And the truth is, Strongblock works with a third party VPS service that all they do is have a program that when you press spool a node, it spools a node up and it creates nodes. So you don't have to go into the CLI windows and do command lines, which I used to have to do back in the day. And it's it's a pain, and not a lot of people can do that. So it's just a quick node service. So what these other in FlitZap, I use FlitZap. If you want to start a node, you press start a node. It spools it up, creates a node for you. So what Matic was partnering with and Phantom was partnering with Strong was to get that service. So they didn't have to worry about, less nodes being on the network because, people didn't know how to set them up. They saw Strong and a quick node setup, and they partnered with them. And that was about it. And obviously Strongblock as a company is going to get some of those, startup fees. If it costs $15-20, obviously Strong gets some of that. And whether or not that goes into the pool, who cares? It's not enough to sustain it. Anyways, and actually, if you look up I could send this to you if you want to really blow Strong out of the water. We could look up the Strong reward pool right now.
Yeah. Where do I go? You want to set? If you want to put the link, there's a private chat there on the side. You should see it there.
Sure.
You can throw a link in there, and I can grab it and throw it up there.
Why not?
By the way, Jeff, I threw you. I sent you a link via DM, so in Twitter. So I saw you in the chat there.
This. Hey, where is it? The bottom. Okay.
You might see a little thing that says private chat. Let's see if you see this maybe later. I just wrote it in here. That's one place you can find it, and there it is right there. Perfect. Nice.
So people in the strong community even know it's not sustainable, and now people in the strong community are like, oh well, they're talking about decay, a decay theory that increases inflation and offsets the price dropping. But I think it's with these pyramid schemes, of course, you're going to get told what you want to hear. If you go to the bottom left, you'll see the reward pool. Let's see where it's at today. Okay, so you just start to see this. Looks like it's becoming exponential, right? Dropping of the reward pool.
Yeah. So let's see. So what is? I'm not sure how to read that.
What you just need to note is that, like the green, all those lines represent how many coins are in the reward pool, which pay for the strong reward, the node rewards, right? So my nodes that I own right now are paying me out, what everyone else's are getting paid out. And I'm selling those immediately, obviously, because, the project is not sustainable, in my opinion, not financial advice.
Well, it's pure economics there. I mean, so, you can see that the rewards are sort of like drying up right there. So it's all dependent. And where does it bottom out as far as adding more nodes, right? So as long as nodes are coming in, rewards are being distributed. Now, what happens if there's no more new nodes? At some point, will there not be any rewards to distribute, right? I mean, it's going to dry up.
Yeah, and then it fails. And before that happens, they'll say, oh, we're having a...
Hey, what's
up,
happening?
Hey, Jeff.
Look at Jeff.
I figured I would tune in, say what's up to our special guest, Minus, on tonight. Freezing over here. It's like 33 degrees, but I thought it'd be nice and festive just to tune in real quick and show you guys a little bit of the lights.
Nice. That's very nice, Jeff. Well, I got to tell you, it's hot and balmy here, so much so that I'm actually wearing my hoodie indoors. Now, it's a little cooler. It's just cooler in here, but how are things there? I mean, 33, you expecting snow there?
It's nice and freezing here.
Got the hoodie.
So, but anyhow, I just wanted to just jump on real quick. I'm here with my buddy Jim, and he said, Jim, hey, you know what? You got to, you should jump on and show them all the lights and everything around.
Tons of lights. That's amazing.
Yeah, it looks very festive right there. The only thing that's missing a little bit of dusting of snow on the ground, and it's like out of a movie right there. So
but anyhow, I gotta go. We're heading to dinner.
Well, why don't you get a drink, Jeff? A nice alcohol, an adult beverage there.
You know what? I think that sounds good. I think Jameson will hit the spot.
Yeah, a little Jameson for dinner, and then maybe a little Irish coffee there for dessert. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it's nice. It's perfect. I was at the office until about 7:15, 7:30, somewhere in there. So it works out.
Nice. Well, thanks for checking in, man.
So anyhow, have a great show. Big shout out to everybody that's on, the best and the brightest. And mine is great to see you on. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'll check you guys out later.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye. That was cool. He was like hitting up in the chat. He's like, Jim, send me a link. It's weird. It's like sometimes you can't get in if you have to send somebody a link. But that was nice to see him pop in there today. So you were talking a little bit about these rewards. So what do you see happening to the project? I mean, if it's not sustainable, where's it headed?
I don't think it's sustainable, and a lot of people that are strong investors don't think it's sustainable. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are, want to make a lot of money, so they're telling people, I'm spooling up more nodes. You guys, you know what time it is. It's like, come on, it's almost over. But the reward pool is going to drain, and then the project is going to announce that they're going to have a halving, like they did right in the beginning of the project when I got in. They call it a halving, but it's like it's not sustainable, so they're going to reduce the rewards, and then that's going to create less incentive for people to spool up more nodes. It's also going to scare people. It's going to create a sell-off, and it's just really going to delay the inevitable, maybe a little bit, or accelerate it. That's what I see happening. That's what I felt months ago when I got it. When I got into it, they promised to change the model, somehow. So I was kind of hopeful. So I jumped in, but it looks like the partners are just to use the quick node spooling service. Now I haven't been following what they're talking about now. There's another solution that's going to save them, but I mean, come on, you guys. We all know what's happening.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad to see that, because I know a lot of people that dove headfirst into that project. And it's the other thing too is I think too, you got to look at underlying fundamentals sometimes. For example, one of the things that you brought to to the community was Neos or NCR, and that was one that I went ahead and bought because you looked at the fundamentals, but you look at the company. It's not a maybe someday we're going to develop something in the 3D the metaverse space. No, they've been around for, I believe, 7 years. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, 5 or 7 years. I think they've had working metaverse for 5 or so. Yeah, they have it all built out. It's like, why haven't you guys advertised? And they're like, well, we wanted to build it out more before we advertised. But it's like, and that's why the market cap is so low. I mean, you see these other metaverse projects that haven't even come out yet, like Sandbox. They did so much in promoting. You go to your browser, you go to like dextools.io, you see Sandbox commercials up in the browser. They did a lot of advertising. They pumped that market cap up to, I think it was $6 billion or so before they even launched their product. So, seeing Neos down there at 10 million when I got into buying the coin, I know it's a gem. I know it's going to keep going up. It is, it's limitless. There's nothing else really like it. I mean, Facebook, what they're going to do is they're going to create a metaverse that they're going to force feed you advertisements. They're going to monitor you. They're going to censor you from doing things. Yeah. And it's going to be limited. And Neos, you can literally do anything. You can make your world private, send invite. It's encrypted. No one can get in. Like you've seen in my videos, anything can be created, any avatar. You can play with any physics. Everything is changeable and editable. So
that is really cool stuff. It's really interesting. So here it is right here. This is on CoinGecko, but there's NCR Neos credits, and you can just see if we look at the if you look at the chart right here. I mean, you look back on not too long ago. Let's just go back to November 2nd. The price was 34 cents. So if you're like, hey, this is pretty interesting tech, or you go back even further, let's say October 2021, not 2020. It was roughly around 25 cents. And you can see kind of like it's been bouncing around up here, but from the time I saw you call, it was in the $2 range. And you had said that you thought
I called it at about 50 cents.
50 cents. That was the first time you called, but then you said it again, and I was like, I didn't jump in at 50. I jumped in a little later, but you see it jumping in around 8.95 here. I think the all-time high has been 9 something, but what's different about this project is they've got the team and the tech behind it. And I think that's a lot of these projects have these grandiose visions about what they're going to do. They put out a sort of roadmap about what they're going to hit and when they're going to do it, which is great because it kind of keeps everybody honest, saying, hey, Q1, we're going to roll these things out, and then Q2. But again, sometimes they're not always solving a problem where these guys are solving a big time problem. And I think what did it for me was when you shared, or maybe it was Jungle, one of you guys shared the dissection of looking at someone's brain in 3D. I was like, okay, this is real world application now.
Yeah, Probable Prime gave me that in game, and I said I'm gonna make a video and show people you can do anything. This is helping out.
And that's his head, right? That was his brain.
That was his brain.
Like when you start seeing that, I'd like to throw that up. Do you got the link to that by chance?
I got the link. You could just go to Jungle's pinned tweet.
Let me do that.
Snipped my video of me doing that, and then he also has his torso on one of my videos. But probably just Jungle's pinned tweet should work. And yeah, so I mean it's open source, and where I see this going is people like NFTs NFT projects are going to move in right now, and some of them are talking to me right now. So like, I saw your video. How do I do that? Because I did a video where I'm walking through an NFT gallery, and in game
awesome.
you can click on the button and buy it from within virtual reality. The hyperlink associated with the button you press in there next to the NFT picture takes you to open seas, and you can buy it. And you can navigate your browser inside of virtual reality, inside of Neos. So you can, in game, the screen pops up, and it's your desktop screen. You can go ahead and buy it in there. So
yeah, so let me show this, and I'm gonna tell me if you hear audio.
Models.
You hear audio?
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to this part. But guys, I want you to check out this demo here. This is pretty awesome.
To actually change the way that doctors would operate on people's heads, because they get or body parts, because they get a 3-dimensional look inside. So let's just check this out, you guys. This is just trippy. So look at the cross sections. Look at that. All right. We get down a little further. You can start to see the 3-dimensional cavities in there. It's just phenomenal. Then we get to the teeth. His teeth. His tongue. Look at his tongue.
His tongue. Look at his tongue.
So
right
this is how VR and in Neos use models to actually.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool stuff, man. I mean, you look at that. That's like pretty incredible. And again, it's just one use case. The other thing was you put up another researcher. Can you tell I follow your stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put up a researcher out of Australia, and you talked about some of the all the use cases. Again, this is where the projects sort of separate themselves, especially on the tech side of things. When you have all these potential, or I would say potential, but actual real-time use cases now, not like next year, in a couple of years, we might actually do something, where Facebook's talking about, almost like a someday, one day, but I don't know if I want to be part of that metaverse,
I don't think we're going to want to. I think it's just going to be limited and boring. I mean, if you try out like VR chat and all these other metaverses, once you find Neos, you're like, I'm going to stay here. This is awesome. And since it's open source, NFT projects are going to want galleries that you walk through. NFT projects are going to move into this space, build on top of it because they can. They're not going to move into like another VR space that has rules and restrictions and things like that. They're going to go, you can build in here for free. So Neos is going to be like the centralized hub. And if you want the most amount of people to look at your project, you're going to go where the most people, congregate. So if people go into Neos to look at all sorts of NFT galleries, you're going to create in Neos and make your gallery there because it's not a separate platform. Everyone has the program installed, the same hardware. So it's going to become a hub, and people are going to be, gravitated towards Neos, developing in Neos. And right now, it might not be as cool as some of these projects, make it look like theirs is, but it's just going to keep building and expand until it is the main VR platform that everyone wants to be a part of.
Yeah, really. So this is the tweet I was talking about. More use cases than any other blockchain: teaching, schooling, medical, esports, action, /RPG, shopping, socialization, adult content, private, anything. That's the other nice thing about it too, is that it has privacy built into it as well, so that you can you can invite people, and then it's completely private. Gambling, anything else. So
they have a gambling house in there, so it's cool.
Which, if you anything else imaginable, you can add this list can just keep going. You know what I mean? It can just keep flying. But this is the kind of stuff right here where you have like this social interaction. This was I believe this was taking students to the 9/11, the Twin Towers, right, to learn about. Wasn't that what the screenshot was?
Yeah,
from?
It was something like that. They have all sorts of educational things in there. They have one called the Universe, and it takes you takes you from like a microbe up into being the size of pretty much like a star, and everything is scalable. And as you get bigger, like the Empire State Building gets smaller until the Empire State Building's a speck, and now you're the size of the sun, and you're looking at the sun that's floating around, and you can grab it and manipulate it. So there's all sorts of tools, like educational tools. It's great. So yeah, people can go develop in there. Anyone.
Right, and that's what's really cool about it, especially the open source and what's the potentially what's possible. What are some other projects or things you like? Let's get into some other projects that you like. Just kind of throw them out there that you think are, have some good fundamentals and just are interesting.
Well, I think Metaverse is the hot topic, and first of all, I've noticed a lot of projects leveraging the word Metaverse when they really have nothing
Metaverse
to do
now.
with Metaverse. So, but it is hot, and what I underestimated going through this thing, because being an XRP guy, it's a change in the world and all this back end money. No one sees it, right? Everyone might benefit from it, but no one really sees it, and we're seeing these blockchain games go from really small market caps to multi-billion-dollar projects in the game, that like Axie Infinity.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how high it is. So, I believe in passive income, and I am into a lot of passive income projects, hundreds of nodes, right? But I'm kind of focusing now on what's going to be profitable to hold in the bear market, because honestly the bear market scares me in the sense that we might not have a big bear market and it might not last long with the rate of adoption. I mean, we got crypto.com buying out sporting arenas, the rights to the name, and by the way, if you enter, you can go sign up in a 3,000 square foot room inside the arena and probably get paid $100 in crypto to do so.
It's not going away.
It's crazy. So, I mean, what's going to have value in the bear market? And games have been proven. It's a proven use case. People love games. They spend all day on games. We don't spend all day sending XRP back and forth,
No.
We don't. But some people spend all day playing these games. So the utility that games have, I think, has been underestimated by myself and a lot of people. So, games are developing. We all know EQ is what they're doing. They don't even have a game out yet. It's still relatively low market cap, but people are just really excited that you get to play, a massive multiplayer RPG game, and the currency is crypto, and you can buy NFT land with it. You can charge taxes with, and be a tax collector because people are on your land that you buy. I mean, it's just really exciting, and I don't see how the bear market's going to really destroy the gaming industry.
No, it's always going to be strong. It has been strong.
And COVID, everyone's playing more games now. So I'm looking at the metaverse and looking at games, and that's where I've been focused on lately.
What do you think about this? Have you seen this project here, RNDR Token?
I have. I remember looking at that months ago, and I never could buy into the whole RNDR token thing.
It's got a small sort of a niche marketplace. I was impressed by some, like I got Brendan Ike, JJ Abrams, you know what I mean? You got some pretty interesting names behind it, and even Mike Winkleman, Beeple. So you've got some interesting names behind it, but again, it's a very small sort of a niche sort of an industry. If you're not doing rendering,
I know. And it's like, man, I have 30 GPUs downstairs mining. Okay, Ethereum. I can render if I want to. You can go to Flux and use their processing power to render. I mean, if you know how to set it all up. I mean, rendering stuff is like, that's cool. There's server data providers, big service centers that have processing power that can render if you really need to, or you just get a top of line graphics card and click the render button and it renders. A lot of people do rendering off of really underpowered hardware. So, if you get a top of the line 3090 GPU from GeForce, you can render a lot of things really quickly. So I was like, I don't see the value in this project, so I never invested in it.
Makes sense. What do you think about this one here? Have you seen this one? This isn't really nice. This is Casper, CSPR.
I did. I looked at that today because a lot of big names on Twitter are pumping it. But I didn't look too far into it. I saw the charts, and people are emphasizing the charts. So, I mean, it doesn't really grab my attention. The chart does look attractive. but there is also 600 million market cap. So I'm not really interested in that right now,
Right.
because mainly the market cap, and I don't see the high demand for this coin.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
And I am focused on games and Metaverse right now, so because I think those are going to have the most demand over the next year.
Yeah, well, you think it'll go past the next year? I mean, I think it's the hot topic right now, but it's just amazing to see what's actually being built out. I mean,
Nike is going to create a metaverse where you can go look at their products in VR. You can buy NFT tokens, and then you can redeem or go in store and pick up your shoes. In exchange, give them your NFT for the shoes, or you're probably going to be able to deliver them to your house as well. But VR is going to be a tool for online shopping right now. COVID is a mess, and who likes spending gas money to drive to the store and go shopping for clothes that are overpriced because of overhead and lack of retail buy pressure? They're escalating the prices, and so I mean, online shopping is cheaper. It's always going to be cheaper because there's less overhead associated with it. So,
right.
I mean, mall space is expensive, and it takes time to get there. So.
Yeah, and a lot of times you go there and they don't have what you want, or they don't have the selection anymore. So there's a lot of that stuff that plays into it. It's weird. I mean, I ordered some dog treats for my dog last night, and they arrived this morning. It's like, and then I've gotten stuff same day where you put it in the morning, you almost forget about it. You click, and then it's a package outside. Oh yeah, I ordered that this morning. So it's getting to be pretty interesting in that respect. But as far as shutdowns and everything, I mean, Florida's been open for since last year and a half. It's almost like it never happened here. It's almost like people don't even know. Like, wait a minute, that's happening in other parts of the world.
You can't go out to a restaurant in Seattle unless you have your card on you. So,
yeah. See, here it's like there's none of that stuff. That's right. There's no mandates, nothing. It's just why. Like I said, it's like nothing ever happened. Now the weird thing is, like in the restaurants, they let the staff wear them, but they wear them like down here on their chin. It's like, they don't necessarily always. But for some reason they are. But one of my favorite taco restaurants here, Los Pecados, which makes an amazing mahi taco. I got to tell you, like nobody wears them there. It's like it's all open, beautiful kitchen, places mob, people standing on top of each other. It's no big deal. It just happens, But it is weird to see, like, because I was out, once in a while I do these like minor little trips, and it's weird to see the way the rest of the world. I had to go up to Chicago for 2 days, and man, everything's like, I felt like I was in jail up there. I was like, every place I went, I had to have it, and people were yelling at me to put my mask on. I'm like, dude, I don't even have a mask. I don't even own one. I had to buy one for the trip. So,
yeah, it deters you from going out. I mean, it's creating new trends and new habits. So,
well, the best habit, like you said, the bottom line is, the remote working. I enjoy. Our whole organization went remote and said, "Well, stay remote." There's an office you want to go and work. Some people do. Everybody else, we leverage tools like Slack and Google Meet. We don't use the Chinese one, but there's all kinds of flavors, and you're instantly talking to someone or chatting with them or whatever. It's like you don't have to be in the same room. It's not like someone's going to drop by your office. But I think it's great, and I love where the gaming's going. It'd be interesting to find out. You remember, I think it was about a year and a half ago, maybe, that I think it was Ripple X that donated $100 million to Forte.
Yeah, I remember Forte. It was more than 100 million. I think it was like 500 or 600 million.
And it was like to create blockchain games, and it's like I've seen almost nothing come out of that, and it wasn't going to be exclusive. XRP. It was like anything. So
it was anything.
Have you heard anything about that? I've not heard one iota.
There was an article, I think a month ago, that came out that it mentioned Forte in games, but I couldn't gather any good information about it that was conclusive that there was, games, in the works that are coming out and going to utilize blockchain. But, games do take a long time to make. So.
No, they really do. And I got a buddy that I grew up with that he's got a gaming company out in California. And I know some guys that were really big time into gaming. So, yeah, I mean, but again, it's like
You think with that much money, you could push something out, right?
You would think so, that somebody would be like, look at Very Easy Hydroponics Alan. He sells some cool hydroponic rigs too. I checked out his website. You guys, it's the same thing, Very Easy Hydroponics. But he's like, Florida's the home of the free and land of the brave. So there you go. And then look at this right here. Hans Loaded talking about Adidas. They're already on the Metaverse bus too. And then you got
because Nike did that, right? So Adidas got to make an announcement saying they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think Adidas is more my flavor, but there's reasons I don't really care for Nike so much. Although I do have a couple of Nike. I do have Nike gear and clothing. Shorts, whatever. But again, but I also have Puma and I have Adidas. So sometimes you like, some people are more into one brand over another one. I happen to like the Nike running shoes better than, let's say, the Adidas ones. They're just not as good. But for regular Adidas walking, I like that. I don't know. Do you have a particular favorite you like, or you just don't?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not.
So I'm going to go with no on that. I mean, hang on a second. Let me tick the box over there. Minus a no. Doesn't really give a crap about that. Okay.
Yeah, I have Adidas.
And is it Adidas or is it Adidas?
Adidas.
I
think it's how you're supposed to, but America, we pronounce things a little bit different.
Adidas.
But Nike does it. Now Adidas is doing it, and every other competition's huge. So now everyone's going to jump on board. So we got these first players that are jumping in, making a statement. Then everyone's going to follow suit, and this is going to happen with every industry. So
yeah, and in the NFT space too, you've got the same thing. So Budweiser's on that. It jumped in with it'll have some perks with it. That's pretty cool. I like that, the way they're going with that. It's another revenue stream, but more so it creates this this demand and its scarcity, right? You want to have it be in a certain members club. You got to buy the NFT, and that gives you certain privileges that you're able to maybe purchase at a discount. I don't know what they are, but then you got Snoop Dogg jumping into it with his. He worked with a famous artist out there to create an NFT. So the space is getting fun. It's getting interesting. Believe it or not, we've already been talking for just a little bit over an hour. So I know it was a good conversation. Anyway, I really want to thank everybody. Thank you. I know we talked about you coming on for a while. Thank you for being generous with your time. And also, too, thank you for sharing all of the, all of your, I would say, outlooks, your ideas, your thoughts about projects. I was really happy to see you start this YouTube channel. You rolled out, even BitTrue had you roll out something, and I saw that on the BitTrue channel.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, it's just really cool, and it's great to see. So thank you so much. Anybody also too, I want to thank everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody for the support of On the Chain. Again, the slowest growing channel on YouTube, but that's okay. We grow together. We grow slow.
The core is good.
Yeah, core is great, and it's like you always want your core audience, some of the smartest people in crypto. The funny thing too is like you might have anywhere from 150 to 300 plus people on, but you only have a few people that really like to chat. A lot of people just like to listen, And is yours also available via podcast? Or are you also uploading the audio only? Or is yours?
No, I'm just doing the visual. Load it up on YouTube.
I don't think it would translate so much because a lot of what you do is very heavily relies on the visuals. So, and again, guys, I want you to check it out. Go into the description, click on Minus Wells, go give them a follow. It's really worthwhile. You're going to see some amazing perspectives on different projects, but stuff you're not going to see anyplace else, especially when it comes to the metaverse. He's really top. And follow him on Twitter as well, which is also down in the description. So I recommend both. I think you guys will be really pleased with that. If anything, it will open you up to new ideas, new opportunities that are going out there. And you might just look at something and say, hey, that's pretty cool. And maybe that's enough. But I would recommend heavily on a follow of the YouTube channel and also the Twitter, or subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter. So that's it. I'll give you the last word, Minus, before we get out of here.
Well, thanks for having me on. And it's been fun. I could keep talking. I want to know more about Florida Coin, but maybe we can talk again sometime.
We'll have to get into that next time. That way we'll have you back when Jeff can be here and, keep tabs on everything you're doing too. But also stay through the close here, because once you go off, we'll say goodnight. But everybody, I just want to thank you guys. That's all we have. Minus Wells and Chip out. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.